Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I thought it would be fun to share kind of my everyday makeup routine as a stay-at-home mom. When I get ready for the day really varies. On a day like today, where my sleep was interrupted last night and I might sleep in a little bit later than normal, I will either get ready in the morning while my son is bebopping around, or I will get ready during his nap, which is what we're doing right now. So I'm literally doing my makeup and it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But it's fine. That's just how it is sometimes, and that's totally fine. And I just thought it would be fun to get ready with you guys, and I can show you kind of my everyday makeup routine. Honestly, usually my makeup takes me like 5 minutes, which will not be the case because we have a couple topics to discuss while I am putting on my makeup. I also bought a couple new products. I'm not sure if I'm gonna try them today, but if I do, I'm still gonna show you guys the things that I've been using and loving so that you kind of get a full picture of my day-to-day makeup. Okay. I feel like we need to get started or we're going to be here forever. A couple topics that we're going to touch on today. One, me losing my job. I just love that I say that so casually. But one, me losing my job. And two, I want to discuss my thoughts on The Life of a Showgirl by Miss Taylor Swift. This is a safe space. So don't go to my comments and leave me hate comments, okay? For my opinions. Anyway, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do so below. Let's go ahead and jump in. I'm so excited to do this video. I don't know why I love doing videos like this, probably because I love watching videos like this, but I can't stop looking at this red mark on my chest. My skin is so sensitive, you guys. I'm one of those people who will wear a seatbelt and have a red mark from the seatbelt grazing my skin. Anyway, look how cute this hair clip is. A little ghost. I got a little set of Halloween hair clips at TJ Maxx. I've already put on my skincare this morning, so we're just gonna jump right into the makeup. I am going to do some sort of base first. If I am really going in with my makeup and doing my version of a full face, I will do a tinted moisturizer. I love the Tower 28 moisturizer. I also love this Bare Minerals one. This is the Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. I have the shade Opal 01. I am not going to do tinted moisturizer today. I'm going to jump right into concealer. So I have two concealers that I have been using and loving. I don't know why this one looks so messy. There's concealer all over it, but it is the Sephora Best Skin Ever. I love this when I want a little more coverage. And I also have the Glossier Stretch Concealer, which I love for a little bit more of a lighter coverage. I feel like this is definitely a lighter coverage concealer, but this honestly works for me day to day. Have no problems with that. But I think today, since I'm looking a little tired, I'm going to use the Sephora Best Skin Ever. My skin type definitely leans dry, and that is why I'm so picky about concealer, because I find a lot of concealer will lay really weird on my skin and kind of emphasize any dryness or any lines in my skin. So I find that this Sephora Best Skin Ever does not do that. Much appreciated. So all I do for concealer is I really just spot conceal. I do under my eyes, around my nose because I have redness, and then I put some on my chin as well. And then I use the Merit makeup brush to blend it all in. Now that we're looking a little bit more awake, I don't typically powder my face. I would love to do that step next to set the concealer, especially around my eyes and around my nose. But I have found the same issue that I have found with concealer is that the powder just makes my skin look more dry or really settles into creases. So if anybody has any tips or tricks, please leave them in the comments below. If you have a product recommendation, a powder that works well for dry skin, please let me know. I'm begging you. I have heard really good things about the Givenchy powder, but it's also very expensive. So I'm a little hesitant to try that, just knowing how I typically feel about powders. But please leave your recommendations below because I would love to know. I am going to do a little bit of bronzing next, depending on my mood. I either use this Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Enhancer. I love this product. This is a very creamy bronzing product. I love this stuff. I feel like this is very nice for contouring. Since it's just a normal day at home and it's 2 p.m. and I'm not trying to do the most, I'm just going to go in with a tiny bit of this Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. So let's talk about me losing my job. For those who are new, I have a 2-year-old and I have been lucky enough up until a couple weeks ago to be able to still work my corporate job part-time, fully remote, on my own schedule. Literally such a blessing. But I have been lucky enough to do that for the past 2 years. I had been with the company since December of 2021, so I've been there for a while actually, and I really, really love my coworkers. I loved my job. I felt so lucky, truly, and I still feel so lucky that I was able to continue on in a part-time capacity. It was really nice to be able to be home with my son, but also stay connected to my coworkers and the company I was with, and also still have a place in the workforce. I feel like this middle ground between stay-at-home mom and working mom is really hard to accomplish. I feel like there are not a lot of opportunities like what I had, so I am so grateful that I was able to do it for the last 2 years. The company's had a couple layoffs over the last couple of years, and they had another one recently, and that's when they unfortunately eliminated my position. It's unfortunate, for sure. I was very sad about it. It was a very emotional call with my manager and our department head. None of us wanted it to happen, so it was very emotional. The three of us had worked together since December 2021, and we've worked together really closely, have like great working relationships and friendships, and it just was really sad, like the call itself, like we all cried, and it was very sad, but just with what's happening at the company right now, unfortunately, they really couldn't justify having my role continue on. There isn't another full-time person on our team, so I completely respect the decision to divvy up what work there is between the three of them. I totally understand that. Fortunately, there is an option for me to return if the opportunity arises. So we'll just see what happens in the next couple months with the company, and after I have baby girl, we'll just see what happens. But I'm just so thankful for my experience there. I'm so thankful that I left on good terms. I'm so thankful for my coworkers and the team that I worked with. I truly worked with like the most incredible people, and I learned so much. I learned so much working there, and I feel like I became really confident in myself, in my job. So I just had such a great experience. It's very bittersweet. It is very, very bittersweet, but we will see what happens in the future. Let's put on some blush. Blush is one of my favorite parts of my makeup routine. I have quite a few favorites. I've mentioned these in previous videos, but I love the Pixie on the Glow blush. I love the Merit Beauty blushes. As you will see, these are all like liquid or cream blushes. I love a Glossier Cloud Paint. I have a YSL Lip and Cheek Balmy Tint. I really like this. This is really pretty. This is probably my darkest shade of blush, and I really, really love it. I think it's so pretty. I also love the Say blush. I have the color Chili, and then this is my new one that I just got. It's in the color Baby, and it is like a true baby pink blush. I kind of want to try this one today. I already know that I love the formula, but I might want to try a new one today. I also have a Rose Ink blush. I'm obsessed with these. I mentioned this one in a recent favorites video. Love this. So let's go ahead and put on some of this Say blush in Baby. I need to be careful with this because this is truly like, look how pink this is. Yeah, girl's got to be careful with this one so she doesn't look too crazy. I'm already afraid I put on too much. Oh no. It's okay. We'll blend it out. We'll blend it out. We'll blend it out. We'll blend it out. I feel like it's hard to tell if this is even because my light source is like right there. Honestly, whatever. It's just me at home, right? Who cares? I will say, since my last day at my job, it has been weirdly quite an adjustment to figuring out my new schedule. When I was working, I would work in pockets of time in the morning and the afternoon, but I would work through Kai's nap. Like his nap time was like my main focus time for work. So it took a solid week. It's been like a week and a half since my last day. It took a solid week for me to find kind of a new rhythm and realize like, oh, I can work on YouTube videos like freely now during his nap, or I can get some chores done around the house. Like it's actually really like freed up my time. Also, even though I am very sad about losing my job, it is very nice to just focus on the stay-at-home mom part of my life. It's very nice to just focus on Kai, our day together, focus on meal planning and tidying up around the house and like little projects we have around the house. So that has been very nice to dedicate like my full attention at home. I will say though, that first week, out of habit, I kept checking my phone for my work emails and Teams messages. And on my last day, I had deleted the apps because obviously I was going to lose my access like at the end of that day. And so I kept going to check on my phone. It was just like such a muscle memory that I would like do throughout the day. When I wasn't at my computer, I would be checking things on my phone. And I was like, this is so weird. I don't even have this on my phone anymore. So it definitely was like a week of adjustment. This week I feel way better. I feel like we're more in our routines now and definitely seeing like all of the bright sides to it, even though it is bittersweet. So anyway, let's put on a little bit of highlighter. I love this Merit highlighting balm. I mentioned this again in the favorites video recently. I just feel like this is such a natural, pretty highlighter. Can you guys see that? Is it catching any light? Let's move on to the eyes and brows and let's discuss Taylor Swift's new album. I'm scared. So some backstory on me as a Taylor Swift fan. I feel like I've never really considered myself a Swiftie. I've always enjoyed Taylor Swift's music. I feel like I've enjoyed her music since her debut. I loved Love Story and Tim McGraw, Teardrops on My Guitar, loved all those OG songs, loved Fearless. I was in college when Fearless and Speak Now came out. Loved both of those albums so much. Played those on a loop. Loved them. And then when Red came out, I was in the middle of the worst heartbreak of my life. I was just a little baby in my early 20s, and it was like my worst heartbreak. And Red came out, and it just spoke to my soul. I mean, can you imagine going through your worst heartbreak of life and All Too Well comes out on an album? Girl, I was beside myself. I'm going to go ahead and put on some brow gel. I'm going to use the Merit Brow Gel. Even though I loved the Red album, I will say that is when I started really disliking her pop singles. I did not love I Knew You Were Trouble. I did not love We Were Never Getting Back Together. I could appreciate them for what they were, but they just weren't my kind of music, not really my taste. And that pretty much continued through the rest of Taylor's career as far as the lead singles go, or any of the songs that are very poppy on her albums. So even though Red is probably my favorite album, I did not like the main singles off of that at all. I love State of Grace. I love Treacherous. I love Holy Ground. I love All Too Well. There's so many songs on that album that are just so, so good. So anyway, we go into 1989 era. Same thing about the singles. Shake It Off. I mean, okay. And actually, this is a controversial statement. 1989 is not my favorite Taylor album. I actually feel like I rarely revisit songs on 1989. There's a handful of songs that I love from that album. Wildest Dreams, an absolute classic. But as a whole, I feel like that album just doesn't do it for me. Even though, funnily enough, after Shake It Off, I do like Blank Space and Style. I did like those when those came out as singles. So that was one instance where that was kind of a different scenario with some of her more pop heavy singles. And then we get to Reputation, which I'm obsessed with. Big Reputation girly. I absolutely love Reputation. Again, Look What You Made Me Do. Could do without it. By far my least favorite song on that album. But Delicate, Call It What You Want, Dress, Dancing with Our Hands Tied, you guys. I feel like that album has so many of her best songs. I absolutely love the Reputation album. And then the Lover album came out. Me and You Need to Calm Down, those were wild choices, in my opinion. In my opinion, those are wild choices. Absolutely wild choices. I feel like Lover, if you're a Taylor Swift fan, you know that Lover is very divisive among the fans. Some people love it. Some people, it's their least favorite album. I think that there are some amazing highlights on Lover. I love Death by a Thousand Cuts. I love Afterglow. I love Daylight. I love The Archer. There's quite a few songs on there. Oh my God, Cornelia Street. Cornelia Street, I feel like, is one of her best songs of all time. I am someone who really enjoyed Lover. I really, really like Lover. There are a lot of forgettable songs on that album, but I feel like the songs that are good on that album, I love. I'm going to go ahead and start my eyes because we're going to be here forever. So I got this recently and I really like it. The brand is About Face, which I believe is Halsey's brand. And it is their fractal eye paint. They had so many incredible looking colors in this liquid eyeshadow. I decided to get the color Smolder. It's a very pretty, kind of cool toned, rosy pink shade. It's so, so pretty. I love these because they're very easy to apply and you can just kind of blend it out with your finger and call it a day. So now to breeze through the rest of this. Folklore and Evermore come out. Favorite albums of hers of all time, which I know is problematic to many because everyone's always like, oh, she doesn't need to make everything like Folklore and Evermore going forward. I know, okay, I know. But those are her best albums. I'm just going to say it. Absolutely her best albums. Best writing, most creative songwriting, and I'm a big lyrics girl, which is going to be important in a moment. But I love those albums. Impeccable, okay? Then Midnights comes out. At first I was like, okay, yeah. But then I realized that Midnights had very little staying power for me. There's only a couple songs on there that I really, really, really like and have revisited. Lavender Haze is one of them. Sweet Nothing is the other one. Honestly, I don't even remember what else is on that album. Karma, Bejeweled, Labyrinth? I don't know. I don't really remember what's on that album because I really haven't gone back to it. I listened to it a bunch within the first couple weeks after its release, but I really fell off of it. I feel like it just did not have the lasting power for me, which is fine. You know, not everything is going to appeal to every person, even someone who's liked her music for a long time, and that's fine. We all change, we all evolve. And then we get to the Tortured Poets department. And on paper, this sounded like something that I would love because your girl loves a sad song. I love a sad, emotional song, and the fact that this whole aesthetic of the album was black and white, very moody, I was like, okay, yeah, this seems right up my alley. And then it came out, the double album came out, and I was kind of shocked by how few songs actually resonated with me. For those curious, my favorites off the album are Guilty as Sin and Chloe or Sam or Sophia or Marcus. I also like The Black Dog, but I'm going to be honest, you guys, I've like barely listened to that album since it came out. One, it's kind of a slog to get through. A lot of the songs sound very similar to the point where even after multiple listens, I was like, I don't know what song I'm listening to right now. It just all blended together for me, which is not a good thing. I know this point has been talked about to death, but I do feel like the album could have been edited down. I think it could have been much tighter and would have made for a more exciting and enjoyable listening experience. I think part of the problem with Tortured Poets department was that a lot of the songs just didn't resonate with me. And this is why this is so strange to me, because I can listen to a song like Cardigan now. Today I could listen to that song and it would make me cry because I can remember those feelings. I can remember the feeling of that desperation she talks about in like the bridge of the song, like talking about seeing them in the grocery line, like seeing this person everywhere you go. I cannot relate to that in my current life, but that song still makes me cry because it transports me to a time when I do relate to that and I can remember so vividly how I felt. So I was really excited about that with Tortured Poets department, and I don't know what it is about that album. I don't know if it's the writing, if it's the content of the songs. I don't know what it is. Taylor and I were literally born in the same year. We were both 1989 girlies, so I don't know if a part of this was that the way she wrote that album just seemed kind of immature to me. It's hard for me to articulate why exactly it just didn't hit for me, why I just didn't relate to it, why I found a lot of it kind of like eye-rolly or cringe. I don't know, because like I said, I love a sad song. I love an emotional song. Even if I can't relate to it right now in the moment, I can tap into an emotional place where I connect with it. And for some reason that was completely lacking with Tortured Poets department. I don't know if it's gotten to the point where sometimes I find Taylor a little unbearable because I'm like, girl, like you're really, really wealthy. Like, yes, you still go through these personal experiences, but like, I do feel like she plays the victim a lot. I feel like she's so quick to tell her side of the story, but then no one else is allowed to tell theirs. So I don't know if that's like why I just kind of got the ick from that album a little bit, but let me tell you guys, the ick intensified with The Life of a Showgirl. As soon as the photos started coming out for the visuals of the album, I was like, I feel like this is not going to give what we want it to give. Even though I knew Max Martin was involved, and I do have faith in him as a pop hit maker, I felt like the visuals themselves were not giving for the Showgirl theme. It just felt a little forced. I don't know. I didn't love the visuals to start with. And when you call it The Life of a Showgirl, I was like, girl, I'm going to need this to be like amazing. Like, I'm going to need this to be like show stopping. We're calling this The Life of a Showgirl. And when I tell you guys that I don't like a single song on the album, I mean it. Let me put on my eyeliner. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to do my mascara before we wrap up our Taylor conversation. I have 3 mascaras that I'm using and loving right now. I have the Glossier Lash Slick in brown for more like natural makeup days. I have one of my all-time favorite mascaras, which is the Tarte Tartelette Tubing Mascara. Love this. I also picked up this Emco Beauty mascara. I think I saw this at the grocery store, but they might also sell it at Target. And I actually really like this. It's a little weird because I feel like too much product gets stuck to the brush on this. Like the brush makes it look like the formula is very chunky and thick, but I actually find when you put this on, that's not the case. It looks very nice. I did recently get a Lancome mascara to try. I got a mini of the Monsieur Big to try because my mom said she really likes it. So I was going to try that today, but I'm realizing some of you might be curious about the Emco Beauty one. So in case you are, I will use that one today. 1 moment, please. This is what the mascara looks like. I'm realizing I don't have any lip products at easy access right here, so I'm just going to put on a little Vaseline and call it a day. So anyway, life of a showgirl. These are my complaints. 1, where are the bops? Where are the Max Martin bops? I feel like there was not a single true pop bop on that entire album. And I feel like with the theme, Life of a Showgirl, we should have had a few amazing pop bangers. And I feel like we do not. 2, the writing. This is my main problem, you guys. Please don't be offended by my bluntness, but the writing is atrocious. The lyrics are so heavy-handed, so clunky, so shallow. It really makes me wonder what happened because I feel like the depth that she's had in previous songs, even if I didn't like the album as a whole, the depth of the lyrics and themes of those songs is like nowhere to be found on this album. I don't know what it is, but as I was listening to the songs and listening to the lyrics, I was like, oh my God, what's happening? Like, what's happening? Like, when I say there's not a single song I like on the album, I mean it. And that has never happened before. I guess the bottom line is that the reason I don't like this album is that I think the lyrics are bad. So that's it. That's it in a nutshell. I do not like the lyrics. It really takes me out of a song when I don't like the lyrics. So I will not be revisiting this album. If you enjoyed the album, I'm so glad. I hope that you guys keep enjoying it. I hope you like it. If you don't agree with my feelings on it, that's totally fine. Please don't be mean in the comments. I actually just went on Instagram and I saw a girl say that if you don't like this album, you don't like joy. I guess I don't like joy. Kai's up from his nap now, so I'm going to go get him out and we're going to go have a fun afternoon together. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.